NyanCave!
Hey, hi, hello, welcome.
Hello!
It's time for the acest of attorneys.
Hell yeah. Previously on Ace Attorney, we met two guys. They were up to no good. A mouse and a man who looks like a villain guy.
You know, I just realized the irony of Ace Attorney. Because it says Ace Attorney, but in almost all of the games ever, we're just a rookie. Like flying by the edge of his pants.
Yes.
Always.
Every single time.
Wow. Never thought about that.
We're not Ace anything. Well, maybe it's... maybe he's Ace.
I'm asymmetrical.
Most people are.
Except Tom Cruise. So last time we convinced not villain, good guy Bolshevik.
Good guy
Bolshevik to change his verdict.
We also
and we picked up the second image.
That's right. I'm gonna play this thing.
I want to see what's on those pictures he's looking at, because it looks like it might be the maid picture.
Oh, yeah. The Tempest! Thank you for being one of us! Tempest!
It so upsets me that Mr. Garadeb is stealing glances at the maid here. I told you they already had the outfit before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're like, yes, it's to make us look like we're higher in status. That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Anyways, I think I pressed here.
Oh, yes, and then she goes, stereoscopes are stupid.
Wow, she is just hammering away on that thing.
Driving technology, revolution, stop, and people, say inventions like the stereoscope. I can't understand it, I really can't. They're all just silly toys.
Excuse me. So we did this yesterday.
Yes.
We did not have the second
We only
picture.
had one picture, and we threw the same picture twice, and Iris is like, that's not how stereoscopes work. And we're like, obviously.
Have you got any, Bruno?
Absolutely. Take that! Take that!
One more print, and we're gonna find out what's changed using frickin' science.
All right. These two prints were both taken with the same camera at Windibanks on the night in question. Oh, yes, I see. Oh, tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday.
And today. Here we go. Here we go. We're doing it again.
The left and right images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the position of some objects. Then when your brain merges the two images inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly.
It's that small shift between certain objects in two pictures that's really important.
So what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then? No, obviously that wouldn't work. Not seeing for the scene in 3 dimensions anyway.
Oh. Oh! Of course! Now I see!
Ah! I think the young girl has discovered the secret.
The secret? I have!
Ah.
I can see the secret.
POV, you've discovered the secret. Oh my god. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them?
Yes. There's no Gina. Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second.
Well, yes. You can see that straight away, but now,
Okay, so you mean the less obvious difference then?
try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
All right, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly.
The dog. The dog is standing out a lot. Same with the doll and the skull books. The lamp is broken.
There you go. Wait.
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno?
Yes, I saw it.
PSA, I was watching Stephen Colbert and he said there's a huge syphilis outbreak in Western Canada, so if you dip, wrap that shit.
Oh, hostile crayon!
I will have to look that up.
Well, don't worry. I have no intimate prospects in my life. And I'm not planning to for
That
at least
you know
2 years that I know of. Neighbors just lustfully looking.
Yeah. Western Canada. Yeah. Oh.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Got really sick, missed streams. Still lying down with a really high fever, 39 degrees Celsius.
Yikes.
TNX for keeping my brain from melting X.
Moses!
Yeah, no, keep yourself cool.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that.
Keep yourself warm and cool.
Yeah,
I love
worst.
cold cloth on the forehead. Cold cloth on forehead is so very just nice. Feel better soon!
I remember being like sick and just being like, oh my god. Like, what I would give just to feel normal again.
Oh, right?
I'll never do anything bad ever again.
I'll never take normal for granted ever again. Immediately begins to take normal for granted, though.
Yeah. Yes, I saw it. Thank you. What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of, they jump out at you.
Yeah, those ones really did.
Oh my god. Yes, yes, yes! That's it, you see? That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes! Other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of stereoscope, you'll answer your own questions.
Basic principles of the stereoscope.
As I said before, if you try to look at 2 identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the 2 pictures, this shows that actually there must have been a slight shift in their positions.
Yes, there must have been.
Now hold fire there, sir! Got a reasonable grasp on this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does this shift between the 2 prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What, me? I haven't the first idea.
You know, Bruno, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken.
okay,
But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim.
okay.
So that means...
That means that there were 2 pictures taken in a half an hour.
Oh,
Sometime
boy.
in the half-hour interval. Someone must have tampered with the things on the counter! Zookers. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Someone tampered?
New information! Stop! Not mentioned in testimony so far! Stop!
Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, but it seems, but I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting that you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter.
Yeah, obviously the answer is so obvious. Gosh, I love those two so freaking much.
I hope they don't go away. I love how everything is the same except for their name.
And their age.
God, it's so hard not to meme on these.
Wow, Eggert's pretty... without his hat. I know it sounded like I was gonna say he's pretty something. No, he's just pretty without his hat.
Cause it's either Gina or Windibank, but I gotta think Windibank.
It was, I don't know, sir.
Take that! Crap. Quite clearly it was the work of this meddler.
I'm afraid you've digressed there, Counsel.
Oh. Maybe the brothers?
Could be the brothers. It should now be clear even to you. That was Darth Vader, sorry.
I. Who is responsible for the impeachable shift in the direction of this trial toward the absurd?
Let me guess. Me?
Shift aside, my Nipponese friend, and let the real lawyers do the talking.
Oh, I really felt that one.
If you think about it, it has to have been someone who's in Windibanks when everything was going on, doesn't it?
Well, yes, that's true.
So, that narrows it down quite a lot, I think.
I'll have another think. We know somebody must have touched things on Mr. Windibank's counter, so who was it? I guess it has to be the baddies.
The bad boys. The bad boys. They are so bad boys.
No, I am the Tamperer.
I mean, it's either Gina or Nash or Ringo. I guess.
I love their little skull and
Oh, I know.
teeth.
Take that! Ah, excellent. Sorry, I lost it.
You lost everything.
It was the witnesses currently in the stand. The Skulkin brothers.
Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands and Lucy lockets meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Hold the phone there a minute. You can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse after all. It's perfectly possible she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. Well, I mean, like, you know, it's
Up.
up. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windibank to open the storeroom door. Damn, Gina's pretty metal if that's the case. I mean, like, geez, you just wanted to confirm if the freaking manuscript was there. I mean,
She went about it the only way she knew how.
yeah. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
But the accused is a pick purse. Common gutter trash. Why look any further than the wrongdoer here?
Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse. than a pick purse. Yeah, do that math. I don't know. I'm the moral police now. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter last night. That night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves?
Well said. Yes. I, for one, would like to hear more of the Shady Pyre. About the
Me
Shady
too.
Juror number 4 is an absolute delight.
The sound is really great too. Just dunk. Oh. God. Could almost use that in like a donation. Dunk. Can you all see now? Yeah, I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You should have seen their extraordinary potential. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. We. Oh, God.
Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop.
Oh, she's dead.
Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue.
Yay! Oh, well done, Runo. Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But all right.
Lord Von Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord.
Sniff it. Sniff it. Oh god, she's so small. What was the thing they were saying? Oh, watermelon or rhubarb.
Rhubarb. Yeah.
Rhubarb. Watermelon, rhubarb. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. And I won't stop probing them.
And he don't stop probing, and he don't
won't
stop
stop probing, and I won't stop
probing,
probing.
and he don't stop probing.
Fun fact, the economical stereoscope featured here was designed in 1861 by Oliver Wendell Holmes, an American medical doctor, poet, and former law student. It is now called the Holmes stereoscope.
John! I think you mean Sholmes stereoscope.
Oh.
Eh?
Poor guy. Everyone would probably go right to, like...
Sherlock.
Sherlock?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you, John.
So close.
And I don't stop probing, and I won't stop probing.
Don't stop probing, and we don't stop probing.
Fun fact, you can actually see the shift in the court record by moving the cursor back and forth between them.
Cyber saying, I actually noticed that the moment we got that. I'm like, ooh,
What?
they're slightly askew. I saw.
You didn't say anything? How dare you?
I'll say everything I think the moment I think it.
This sounds dangerous, but okay.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings.
What'd you think of that?
Delightful.
Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. I presume you heard the defense's counsel summation examination.
Yeah, Governor.
What did, Gov? What did? Mr. and Mr. It goes right to. Anyways. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Cool!
This is gonna be hard work.
We didn't get that one. Don't worry, we'll do it next time.
Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks.
Well, it was bedlam as soon, wasn't it?
I was, Nash, it was! Didn't think I'd have time to pull my dukes out of my Lucilakas, Nash. There's real big trouble there. However, that was a lie. You brothers...
Cool! You're blimey!
Cool! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
We never done nothing of the sort.
How'd you figure it out? Okay, Nyanny, what I need you to do for the next thumbnail is to cut them both out.
Yeah.
And then just squeeze them together. Just erase
my
the distance
God.
between. Just,
You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear ya.
we'll blab, we'll squeak, we'll pitch.
And Tempest, thanks for the 13 months message. NyanCave reading status 404, not found.
All right, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, they did a really good job.
Hell yeah.
It was when we heard the gunshot, see? Me both us jump up, all that stuff went flying.
Lummy, it didn't give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter came out the door and get us next.
We stuck everything back when we found it and scampered right back into the black.
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never had a chance, did we?
So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question.
Not ransack, Governor, no.
That's right, Nash. That's right. It's more like we tied it up, yeah. Oh, sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good of their mess. By the way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all.
We don't, Nash. We don't. Can't they make us sound a little bit more cutthroat? It can't just be a coincidence that these men showed up at Windibanks that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Gregson.
If he pulls his hat down and gets shady eyes,
Oh, God.
I'd love it.
I'd laugh if he flips his mustache and his eyebrows upside down. Just
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I would love a mod of, the Mario 64 pull Mario's face thing.
Yes.
But it's Gregson instead.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Wonder if they have those mods.
All right, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
Ooh, sorry. Swallowed some air. That's gonna come back later. Uh-oh. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we?
Yeah, we ain't, Nash. We ain't. If we admitted something like that, people would think we was up to no good.
Well said, Ringo, my old China. Me old China. Don't know what that means. We'd only land ourselves even more in trouble.
And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. Oh, that's rotten, look. Says the rotten apple eater.
Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
Oh, we never ransacked nothing.
Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied up the place. Oh, sorry.
Oh, China plate means equals mate. That makes sense.
Oh, I'll show you probing Ryunosuke all night long.
That's one long trial, Monadoof. If it goes deep into the night.
I imagine there was a lot of mock probing going on while he was studying. Well, and Moose says thank you, but it won't play. I'm trying out some things. Who knows? It's too hard to do the wah consistently.
What are you talking about? Mario.
Voices are always an evolution.
It was when we heard the gunshot, see?
See, it goes down there.
It goes into this
place.
Made both of us jump and all that stuff went flying. Wah, wah. Wah.
So what you're saying is... Maybe with more practice I can one day. We'll get there. The sound of the gunshots shocked you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter.
Well, it shocked just one of us that much, yeah? Oh, this bag of nerves needs to keep his shirt on.
Look, it was loud, all right. Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up in that bang.
Big brother here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, some skull and whatnot.
I got tangled up in some marionette. One knocked over a picture frame, who then knocked them scales on the floor. You've really mastered working quietly then. What a racket! My granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise.
And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse in there. All of a sudden, a bam.
Excuse me. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add?
Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels.
No? Something to add to their testimony? You seemed to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something?
It's probably nothing, of course. Wouldn't even bother to mention it. Only, well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details.
And how about you just tell us what's on your mind, Yanny?
Well, sometimes I think about things.
Well, you're out of time.
As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night, and the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Did it?
You claimed you heard the victim shout something before the gunshot.
Might have, Gov. Does ring a bell now that you mention it.
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here. Hey, fellas. If I discover that the witnesses' testimonies have been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring every harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy.
We'll get it right this time.
That's it, yep. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
Then speak! Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs.
Aw. Right you are, Gov. Right you are. Meal China, China plate, equal mate.
Makes sense.
Then just fucking say it. Just kidding.
You can't if you're Cockney. You can't just say what you mean. You have to rhyme.
But you always mean what you say. What voice changed? What?
Y'all need to chill about voices.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. I didn't change anything.
Right? Like, I'm literally trying to do what I was trying to do yesterday.
First one.
Hold it!
So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov, we did!
Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before a yell and all.
If you don't want to get shot,
Give me that gun! Bang! Oh!
kind of thing. A career in acting, tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could! From the other side of the door, behind the counters it was! From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead.
And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windibank.
Oh, my granny's wife! Of course it was!
Granny had a wife. It's on Granny's life! Of course it was!
So that would mean that you both knew that Mr. Windibank and the sound of his you both knew Mr. Windibank and the sound of his voice.
So that would mean what?
What, Nash? What? Any ideas?
Yes, counsel, indeed it would.
No. We didn't know the geezer.
How am I supposed to know when that bloke in all the fancy club is giving us the evil eye?
Just contemplating life. Oh my god.
If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
Oh, my granny's life it is then.
On his granny's life, it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead.
To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you heard, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counters, scattering them over on the shop floor.
They make it sound like we was just clumsy.
Don't forget, we tidied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
Oh, and I made homemade mango habanero hot sauce for the first time today, and it is delicious. Spicy as hell, but delicious.
Hostile crayon!
Sounds good.
Sounds like it's not going to be fun going out.
Bananas, though.
Have you put? What about a nice banana chutney?
Nice banana, just a whole banana.
Just toss that in there.
Sorry, that's an old reference.
It might actually be good though, the mango habanero sauce.
Thank you for your honesty, Nyan. Makes me feel confident enough to announce that I too think about things. Remember all, you're not alone.
Chrisman!
It's very admirable.
Thank you. Yeah, I know, I'm very brave.
I, for one, haven't thought of anything in a long time. Sounds salsa. Are you saying that Mr. Windibank had a gun in his hands?
Oh yeah, I bet that was a sight, eh? The two of them waving the guns at each other must have got pretty heated.
Two of them waving guns?
Yeah, I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "Oh, if you don't want to get shot."
Didn't really sound like you meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Windibank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required.
Someone.
That someone being himself, of course.
Thank you.
Good grief. Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided.
Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked this goose proper.
Bet he wish he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!" And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot.
It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun!
Bang! Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting. Very tragically missed.
Don't we hear the sound of someone hitting the deck? So proud.
Underwear.
Before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done slapdash job tidying up the place. Their smiles are so precious.
Lummy didn't give off give me a fright. We was thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next.
So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Not on your life.
It went deathly quiet after that, he did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the doors was locked, wasn't it? Ain't no way it was opening. Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe. Oh, it was, Gov, it was! From the inside!
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of inside the room. Like through a keyhole or a gigantic square spy hole, perhaps?
Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had
to cut and run before we noticed anything like that.
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard!
Please, just cut it out.
But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away.
Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there, unconscious, with the gun in her hand.
To confirm, it would be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom.
Oh, that's right, Gov, that's right.
Couldn't have, even if we wanted to.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into the black. Hold it! Yes. Whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
We was a bit hasty there.
We was, Nash. We was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss. Good advice.
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
Mental note made, miss.
After that, we legged it down the street, but... Apparently?
Yep. Like, apparently. I know. Sometimes it's so hard to parse these, like, cut off words.
Apparently, we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped us dobbies, the dobbies on us like winking.
And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah?
But listen, that proves it, doesn't it? Eh? Yeah? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
Hold it! And why should we believe that?
What? Well, because it's true, isn't it?
The place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom. having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windibank. Correct?
You got it, mister!
Down to a T. Yay.
So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windibank. Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony?
What is it, Uno? You look very fierce. I can pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I've no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Intuition. Yeah, I expected Iris to do a little more heavy lifting here. Like, child genius, deductions on point, you know? Come on. Tell me why they did it just from, like, what they're wearing.
Yeah.
I know you know the answer. Sorry?
People's expressions, the movements of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling, like you describe. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes, I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5.
All right, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing.
What's that thing where parents pretend that their kids say really profound things?
That happened?
I think so. Something like
Or
that.
there's also woke kids.
Oh, woke kids. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iris is just like legit woke kids. Just all of it. Look what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired it instead of yelling at the girl. So I'm pretty sure this is it.
Yeah, me too.
Because there was only one gun.
Yeah, there were 2 guns. One that Gina was holding, and the other one that was they were holding. So where's the other gun?
Yeah. It doesn't say that this is the only gun, but we know that it was. The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling. Fright, door and get us next. Stuck everything we found, scampered back. Couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Yeah, I mean, I'll send the gun at that, and then we can go from there if that's what it is.
Here's a good woke kid for you.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old just said,
Daddy, why do people make up things that their children have said on social media? Isn't it just inherently dishonest and indicative of an inability to construct a compelling narrative themselves?
wow, that child is so profound. At 4, can you believe it?
I'm gonna, oh yeah, well it says that Gina was holding anyway.
Yeah.
Well, when she was found unconscious. I'm just gonna go for it, we'll see what happens.
Objection!
Shit. That reveals a damning inconsistency.
Damning, you say? Well, I look at counsel, you see your trembling hand, your pallid expression. Yep, nope, bam, you're damning.
Damn. No, we don't have any special handshakes. Tom was the one who liked handshakes.
I don't like touching people. We met a new friend on Friday, and I did a handshake, and then I washed my hands.
Oh, hold on.
In this new world, I just don't feel handshakes are appropriate.
Hold it!
Because I think that we had a pursue.
6 feet away, 6 feet away, air 5. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hold it! New window bank.
I like how he says on my granny's life, and then the other guy's like on his granny's life. That could be it.
His granny? He doesn't have a granny. Yeah, this is so weird. What do you think?
What are all the things? Can you just
Oh, this is kind of dumb, but maybe this is it. Bloke holding places holding a gun. Well, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Because in this picture, Gina's holding the gun.
Yeah. Sure.
Unless you have something else.
Sure.
No.
I just want to see what other testimonies there were. But we could try it.
Objection!
Hey, baby. Nicely done.
The gun still should have worked. I don't know. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, Gov. Oh, you got the picture?
Oh, he has, Nash. He has. No question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more?
It's the ace attorney way.
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel.
Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash. Too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
A skulkin's never skulkin'.
So that didn't work, eh?
No, but it was like you're not wrong, but you're not right either.
Okay, what's the next testimony? Didn't give me half a fright. Shooter would come out the door and get us next. We were stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight to the... We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. We never had a chance, did we?
I'm pretty sure this is the one.
That's the one?
Well, it's probably just the wrong picture. Cause maybe I could send this one because he's not holding a gun. Because I mean, he couldn't have like dropped the gun. Because this is the one instead of yelling. He should have just shot her instead of yelling at the girl. Because the shot happened right after, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, picture number 3, I guess.
Objection!
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
Oh, that's it, Gov. Oh, you got the picture?
Anyone else? Deja vu? Deja vu?
Deja vu.
There's an easy fix to this voice situation. Just give everyone booster voice. Then there's no worry about it changing.
Wow.
Cyber Saiyan!
That's the nicest way anyone's ever told me to die.
Make it stop!
Help me!
Help me!
Please. Please. It hurts. Precious. God.
has, Nash! He has! No question! And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding a firearm of any description. Hey, you what?
Gordon Bennett! That ain't right.
Explain.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Yeah, that mole Tula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun!
Bam! Kind of thing. Hold it. Stay exactly where you are. Right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Oh. So saying like, oh God, thought to derive from the controversial reputation of James Gordon Bennett Jr.?
And Don says it's like for Pete's sake.
Oh.
Who's Pete?
I don't know. But I do a lot for him and you'll never know.
Goodness. Are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments?
Oh, crap. Would it be that one now? Did I have, like, the order wrong? Because this is the one we sent first. Oh, yeah, because they said that she took the gun from him in the last second, but here she is clearly holding it, so him saying that makes no sense. I'm just going to send this.
Take that!
I believe this is all the proof you need. Oh, shit.
Unfortunately not. I require proof that actually proves something, you see.
I knew it was a long shot.
It would appear that you have failed to grasp even the bare bones of this case.
Apparently.
Perhaps your level of intellect is better suited to the theatricals of these witnesses than advocacy.
You know, he's not wrong. I do enjoy their theatrics. Huh?
Give me that gun!
Bang! Kind of thing. Want to take to the stage with us, eh?
Oh, you could be sulky if you like.
Oh! Nash, Ringo, and Sulky's Kabuki Theater Troupe. No, it would never take off.
We'd never make it past the first month.
I believe the counsel for the defense still wishes to pursue his career in the courts, Lord Von Zieks.
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim.
Inconsistency with the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments. Give me that gun. Bam. Oh. That kind of thing.
I guess, do we have the autopsy report? We should.
There it is.
Because the autopsy report
Oh, he
said
was shot from the back. Yeah, there it is. That's so clever and good.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't work, then we're screwed.
Take that!
Well, we're screwed. Kidding. According to their testimony, the witnesses claimed to have heard a shout of, "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed. With the two events happening almost simultaneously, more so we're led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
But it's on the God's honest truth.
Oh, it is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Did I hear you just right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash,
Order, order, order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once!
Well, the thing is, it weren't supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you.
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we,
cut it out! Cut it out, Nash! Cut it out! If we blab now, you know what he'll do to us. Who are they talking about? Why are they talking about?
Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Bruv, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well...
Do we have to?
On pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth.
Oh. Encounter with the victim. Oh, all right. So we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed. Then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through the door in the back room.
He never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop?
Well, yeah? Sorry.
Wow. We find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time...
Oh, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for.
Name time. You already went over the apple and pear pun, which by the way is weird that the localization made a Japanese pun, and their surname, Skulkin, comes from skulking.
Hey.
1/3. Their Japanese names are Nemi and Tully, which may come from Nemoi, meaning tired, and Tari, meaning happy. 2/3. And finally, their Japanese surname is Chinpira, which comes from the Japanese word Chinpira, meaning hoodlum. 3/3.
TBD!
Chin chin.
TBD. Thank you. Interesting.
And Big Boy! Thank you, Big Boy, for being a member 2 months in a row.
Oh, I did
Thank
a
you.
boy with a Y, not with
Boy.
an I. Sorry, I've ruined your life.
Uh-oh.
I've ruined your life, big boy. I've ruined it. He's a big boy. You's a big boy, ain't you? Well, what a good boy you is. Thanks, big boy.
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windibank. Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously, but we never thought no one was going to come out of that back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom. Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
That doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
All I do know is that I'm hooked on the brothers.
Swing your gun from side to side. Shoot it in her lock, Sholmes in the ribcage.
Did you see the accused at that time? What? That Maltula? Couldn't tell you.
No way, Cobber. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it.
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Was the victim Mr. Windibank wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey lummy! A great ugly barrel he had pointing straight at me frontispiece! Frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with the gun at that time, is that right? Oh, it is, Gov, it is! Spot on!
Then all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
It was Bedlam! I didn't know what was going for who! You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it, I mean. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. Chucked me over the counter.
I want to see this animated. Just the.
You've got to toss me.
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah. Of course we did.
I knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull, whatnot.
I got tangled up in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame, what then knocked over the scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock all those things off the counter.
Whoa, Big Brother here went flying over the counter like a gunshot. I can tell you, the old geezer then pinned him.
Oh, he did, Nash. He did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery.
Wow, it took them a long time to get there.
There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim.
That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back into the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Windibank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room.
Should I just make him Ringo? I know the other guy's Ringo, but give Ringo a voice to the guy named Nash.
Sure. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windibank?
Nah. Never. I was just, you know,
Ooh, oh yeah. Ooh, ha.
looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
That I was. By a man whose shop was being burgled. Yes.
And then the man fled into the storeroom where you pointed your gun at him. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, and then he ran off through that door and shot himself in.
There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Windibank ran into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone is saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windibank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windibank's hands again? Honestly, though, Mr. Windibank would have never opened that door. He'd have been like, fucking do it.
Yeah, do it.
Pull the trigger.
Do it.
You won't.
Do it. Shoot me.
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
Look, the point is, me and me brother here.
Oh, that's right, Nash. That's right. Me and my brother here. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. Hold it! You say you had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was from the inside.
We know it was, because we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Won't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could have possibly shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windibank?
There could have been. Yeah, saving is a good plan. Saving is a very good plan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll just reset us back to this point, but it's been a while.
But you never know.
I mean, this doesn't penalize us either.
And before Iris is like,
Are you sure about that?
There could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Yeah, it was.
What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
I did.
What is your point, my learned friend?
The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windibank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all.
You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So, pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of two conundrums.
Two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe.
Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
Are you alright, Uno?
No, could you take this one? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely.
So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun.
Well,
Yeah, it would be in front of the door, on the door, more door.
more doors. The defense believes the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here.
And an answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from that the location indicated, where was the victim at the time?
Nailed it. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. The only thing that really punches a hole in our thing here is the
Angle.
angle of the bullet.
Unless he was upside down.
Oh my god.
Continue.
Mr. Windibank died instantly from the bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So, you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony,
I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. No, Ringo, don't. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it, John. Don't do it. I'm doing it. I'm taking all the drugs, John. Let's write songs, John. We'll write songs about Lucy in the sky with diamonds, John. Where's Paul?
if Mr. Windibank ran through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh. It was at precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man. Shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would have entered his body at an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windibank.
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock?
No, but maybe the small girl who was fearing for her life was. She is a pickpocket after all. I think she could handle it. But what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there was someone else who could have locked the storeroom door.
Is that so?
Well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario you just described, The defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
Gee, who could it be?
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
That's absurd! You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason?
On the grounds of not getting shot.
Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. That, isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I were Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Oh, intruders, eh? Oh, that's us, bruv. Oh, wait.
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom.
Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. Just as soon as, that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it. In order to save her own life.
Hold it! But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
Oh, we ain't, Gov. We ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We'd never shoot no one.
Objection.
But you did shoot someone.
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder.
Well...
Yeah,
Well, where does that leave us?
You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all?
Should have known it was those three brothers. They're looking shady as a dense forest.
That was amazing, Runo! All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know. First time ever. And probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. They'll surely give you a verdict of not.
An admirable effort, my learned friend.
What's this now? He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Von Zeeks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say.
Timmy, run. You've got so long to live, Timmy.
What is that word?
Chicanery?
Chicanery, thank you.
Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performance in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here.
What?
The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw.
A fatal flaw?
Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Von Zeeks. Might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground, huh?
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand.
No, Timmy!
Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. You noticed then?
Huh? What's everyone talking about?
Counsel,
Yes, sir.
tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime.
Two bullets.
Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike this calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know that there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Sherlock Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness! I think you'll find.
Well, if a single bullet was fired from the brother's gun and hit Mr. Sholmes, it means...
Windibank, not shot by same gun. Stop. Only 1 bullet. Stop.
Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
Ah!
Order! Order!
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dredge of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery.
I'm all right.
Lord Von Zeeks!
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct.
Uh-oh.
The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond a doubt in this print which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession 1 more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present.
That disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard. Thank you very much.
No, don't give it to him. It's mine. That is, it's mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has been taken in as evidence now. Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc.
The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windibank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her.
Uh-oh. Is the boss man coming in?
But it's got blood on it, and we can color that blood.
Whoa!
Whoa.
And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious.
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see. I think it'd be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel.
Hold it! Whoa, hi. Lord Von Zeeks, Inspector Gregson? What?
Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Lord Von Zeeks at all.
I am unaware of any such meeting.
Oh, but those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Woo!
Oh, indeed. Bailiff.
You don't make no music. Blood.
The prosecution has established the accused motive, opportunity, and baseness of character.
Based means something different back in the day.
There is nothing more to add.
Foundation. Character is pretty based, though. Pretty based.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case.
I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once. For all of 5 minutes.
Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord, I wonder if I might say something at this point.
Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling through in a bit of a fog up till now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer's barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no.
Here comes the guilties. Just
Very
like
well.
me after eating a whole bunch of ice cream.
The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Bonk. I like how he like stands up on his chair before he does it.
Woo!
We have consensus among the jury, it seems, but of course, as we've learned, that means absolutely nothing.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Oh, how dare he use it against us.
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day.
I like how we didn't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Gadab Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Again.
Judicial findings.
One quick moment.
Jillian! Thank you for being a golden waffle. Jillian, it's Jillian.
R.I.P. Wilhelm. Your sacrifice was quite a scream.
Adam! Thank you, Adam. Have you ever heard the little poem, Jillian? It's Jillian, Jillian, Jillian Jigs. It looks like your room has been lived in by pigs. I knew a girl named Jillian growing up, and we read that book. And we always called her Jillian Jigs. Hi, chat. It's just a quiet moment with you and me. A quiet moment with Nyandroid. Today, we're going to be doing just a little bit of judicial ASMR. Guilty. Perjury. The court record has been updated. A joke? Frick, where'd my joke book go? Well, Clay's back.
Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say, Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the cold case is done and dusted.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. Oh my.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
I love you, Squeakums. I love you, Squeakums.
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more.
The whole courtroom's turning against me.
It's not fair!
Iris?
That prosecutor's being mean! Just because Ginny's done some things that she shouldn't have done in the past. That doesn't make her a murderer!
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter.
Ah, yes. A small girl's tears. The finest spice of wine.
Here's to the truth coming out, eventually.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Whee!
That's how he kicks it into overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my lord. Jury examination.
Now it's my turn to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying? Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces? The greatest military organization in the world?
No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes. You might have a point there, I suppose. But let's not forget the girl that already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it.
When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this?
Oh, exactly. She tried to swipe that only a day earlier, Or am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to have a closer look at it.
Like right now?
Oh, Runo, look!
Mason's blood.
This is blood!
Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Then it's It's my time to shine again. I thought I'd been waiting forever. All right, hold still that disc, Bruno.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash.
Purple.
Green!
Oh, a lovely bright shade again.
Wait, that color.
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? 4 samples of blood.
Hoo, 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 hoo.
Former Gilded. That's the man you defended in court a couple of months ago, isn't it, Bruno?
Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. I'm so upset about the bullet hole in this thing because I saw it as soon as we went into the shop, but it doesn't make any sense with what like the stories that are being told, so I've kind of just had to like hand wave it in my head for now.
Right.
I hope it wasn't an error, but I'm sure it's not. Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then he ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe.
We still don't know what tune it plays, though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy.
McGilded's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail.
Too late. We've already done it. Liz!
Happy birthday to me. I love this game.
Oh, damn!
Happy birthday, Liz!
That's awesome.
You did it. You made it all the way around.
Hit it, chat, and I really hope you like them. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold it! It's the number of bullets that you had that has you convinced.
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table setting.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although, sometimes
Yes?
after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves?
So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position.
A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? Whoo, boy. Let me take a quick look here. Yes.
A gentle rising.
It doesn't say that it exited.
Trajectory, right? I was thinking that too. Like, neither the bullet in him nor the bullet in Sholmes have been said to have exited. We just assumed that the bullet exited through Sholmes and that it was his blood.
Why not? I can prove it. Aw, crap. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. Oh, I've done it now. Oh boy, I've done it now.
Oh, he really did it. He really did it to him.
Oops.
You have to pop your 2 prints in here to start with, you know.
And then, when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions.
The important thing is to get the right position of the 2 prints.
I don't know who came up with the idea of a stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Oh, look at that! It's totally changed shape, just from one little button press.
Well, that is what the button's for, Runo. You're just like Hurley. You boys love pressing buttons, don't you? Especially if you don't know what they do.
Us boys? Says the 10-year-old girl.
Anyway, now you can see that it really is a stereoscope, can't you?
Oh. Well, that's that, I guess. Unless... No? Why did they give us this? That's weird. Well,
It all will become clear. Do you throw something or do you load your save?
oh, I'm gonna throw it, for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, the only place it could be is inside Windabank's body, based on what I have.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a picture of the storeroom. I was looking in the storeroom for a bullet hole, but I couldn't find anything.
There's not one in the second picture, like just on the off chance? Probably not.
Second picture? Oh.
Because like we did the cross-eye thing and I didn't see anything out of place.
Well.
Take that!
I, don't suppose this would pass as the third bullet.
It passes for a bullet as much as you pass for a lawyer, my learned friend.
Coming from you, I'm going to take that as meaning not much.
In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remarks.
I fell for that trap.
Counsel, at the very least, I would like to expect the evidence you present to be of the correct form.
Oh, it's been a long day.
Thank you, counsels. I've seen enough. According to the powers vested in me by Her Majesty the Queen, I declare no further examination necessary. As such, I shall be requesting the final decisions of the members of the jury. Are you all ready, Mr. Foreman? Abso-ballylootly, my good sir. Then please announce your findings to the court.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Damn.
Yeah, we did this on purpose to see what the game over looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we were just at the last case and we haven't seen it, so it's content.
I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, guilty. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I applaud your considered and expedient deliberations. Court is adjourned.
But,
Oh.
Still funny to see violent Bolshevik on jury after being red herring in case 2. Guess he's still making impact in story, duh? Same goes
Nah.
for other jurors.
Adam!
Thank you. Yeah, there's, it's neat. There's definitely a story going on in the background, I think.
Yes.
It's a
Definitely.
I'm a big believer in Chekhov's gun.
I don't know. We keep talking about it, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, it's basically like, I don't know the whole background of it, but if
Chekhov from Star
If the
Trek.
writer mentions a gun, then you know that gun's going to be shot, basically.
Oh.
At some point. Like, it's going to do something. So I was here, and I got stuck on that.
Yeah, because show me the second bullet. We don't have it yet. My guess is the third bullet, sorry. And the third bullet's going to come into play somewhere
Else, yeah.
throughout this whole thing.
Probably. Let's,
Hold it!
So, if I've understood correctly, you need two pictures. A left eye one, and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly! Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions like this! So if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same to me. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon.
I never imagined that a simple operation would cause me such grief.
Hold it! Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it's nothing to do with the trial, to be honest.
Oh? Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
Ah, there it is.
Yep.
I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on...
What was that fellow's name now? Herlick? No. Hairlock? No. Hairlock?
And he left his scalpel inside of him. Definitely did, by the way. Herlock Sholmes by any chance?
Oh yes, good lord. It was that Hairlock fellow.
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy.
Let me see. Oh, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened it up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his inside with a fine-tooth comb and I couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw my hands up and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
Surely that's because the bullet's still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct. As it clearly is shown in this photographic print, the bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, and then exited the body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door.
I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Huh! Who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound to that man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake?
Like a pancake.
Are you saying that you checked his back?
Like a pancake. Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
What?
That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere inside the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve this mystery?
I love this man's whole existence right now.
I love his jelly bean eyebrows.
Mm-hmm. It's almost as much of a mystery as to how this jury was put together. I gotta believe that in the second game, the jury is just completely off the rails.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where's an expert when you need one? Hold it! Mr. Sholmes' surgeon is on the jury? I have experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
But there's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot.
Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in.
How bad was his injuries, Doctor?
He was in a bad way. He'd lost a huge amount of blood, you know. And I suspect he was shot at quite close range, too. Because his skin was badly burnt around the point of entry.
Burnt?
As I said, I flipped the fellow over like a pancake and examined his back. But there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out.
And yet, you say you found no bullet inside the patient.
Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me to insanity. There's only one, if only there was one expert in ballistics who could help, even if he looked extremely untrustworthy.
If only. So we have a disappearing bullet on our hands.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see that I'm in for a busy day ahead.
Hold it! What do you mean you're in for a busy day?
Forgot to say, stop. Do excuse me, stop. I am communications officer, stop.
A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams?
Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap out the entire thing to the world electronically.
To the entire world?
Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop! Worldwide communication network, stop! Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe!
Oh, yeah. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves like before, wasn't she?
I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine.
Let's just finish the trial first, shall we?
Give me your statement, Mr. Mouse.
I promise you that I was perfectly on time.
Hold it! I thought you were just a tourist.
Good day. I am visiting from London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So you're a ballistics expert. Who knew?
I have much experience with guns.
Ah,
I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of,
Ah, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps.
Those. Extreme violent bloodbath.
Choke me harder.
English is very difficult to tongue.
considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve.
He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But, if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets.
If only.
If only.
If only we had a
mystery.
mystery man.
Von Zeeks has managed to convince everyone.
When you've eliminated all the when you've eliminated the impossible, he said, but he hasn't.
She's just so done with that.
If we're gonna fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Very funny. Very funny. I like that.
Oh, a ballistics expert.
Pitting. P-I-T.
On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6.
Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet.
This apparent contradiction about the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery?
I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road, freezing cold.
Golly.
The snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifle and they were on dog sleds.
Mental note, don't ask too many questions.
I was shot from behind, and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body, and no sign of, how do you say, exit wound?
Then where did the bullet go?
Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice, very close to my side.
What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound.
Good gracious.
Telling you, icicles. Perfect murder weapon.
Yeah, they do.
Of course. Piece of ice quickly melted inside. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet.
But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened at the pawnbroker's shop. Not in some snowy mountain road in another country.
That's pretty crazy. I thought that like he fell forward and the bullet just fell out of the wound or something, but I mean, that doesn't seem likely either, of course.
Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
Oh no? Where exactly was Hurley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach, sort of around this area, I think.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt.
A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch that Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I can remember. If I may.
Lord Van Zeeks?
While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom.
Sorry?
As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Oh, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case.
Could you maybe, present all of that evidence?
No.
You know, it seems important that I would have access to that as well.
No.
Okay.
I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Yeah. Yeah, you also vouched about that omnibus, too. How'd that go? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, extremely unconventional during a summation examination. I must demand the prosecution present the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So, this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that! One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the vial exploded.
Exploded.
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate victim, but deflected into wall of shop. Guilty.
A delightfully complex aroma.
Well, it would appear that one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Da. Thank you very much. very much. Glad I could help.
Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence.
Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy! It's charming.
I bet you there's a bullet in it.
Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion,
Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around. Somehow, I'm sure of it.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day.
I just want to take a look before we...
Yeah, for sure.
Hello, bullets. Bullets. Hello? This file has been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck.
As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in the file, there would have been a really big explosion.
A big explosion?
Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for investigation work he does, but they're also quite tricky to handle. Safely, at least. They're very dangerous.
Oh.
I'm sure that when that file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited.
Note to self. Always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in the future. The left is the danger zone.
So, I knew this guy who had pepper spray in his pocket.
There it is.
There it is! And the pepper spray exploded, and it got on his wanger, and then he had to run into McDonald's and be like, I need a cup of water!
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's awful.
Yeah.
It's really scorched badly just here.
Oh, the strap is broken, look!
That must be where the bullet hit then.
Let me see.
What? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it?
That's the Skulking Brothers bullet!
And look at those ballistic markings. Ooh, what a stroke of luck it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery.
It wasn't a stroke of luck when my friend's pouch got hit by a bunch of pepper spray.
What this means is...
My friend, GD. It didn't happen to me. It was a friend, I promise.
There were 3 bullets fired at Windibanks that night.
We found exactly what that juror was talking about!
I can't be here anymore. You said you wouldn't tell anybody!
The 3rd bullet!
It's time to press that juror again, I think. And not die this time. The 3rd bullet is literally called the 3rd bullet.
Right?
Which also sounds like a power-up item from Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, the 3rd bullet.
The 3rd bullet. All right. Well, that was... Ooh, ooh. Thank you for being here. We're going to be back tomorrow. We got a little side story, another day happening in Neo Tui, happening right after this. It would be... Oh, stream crashed. Oh, that's awesome. I guess we're back. Hey, Allison. Oh, it's fine now? Yeah, back tomorrow. Nier. Yes, we're playing Nier. Very good game. No, just kidding. Yeah, thank you for being here. If you haven't checked out the subreddit, please do. We're going to be watching, going through the subreddit this Saturday. So if you do have some posts to make sure to get them up there. We're going to be going through a lot of them. There'll hopefully be some Ace Attorney stuff. I haven't looked, but I have faith in all of you. Yeah, you can post things related to the stream, just related to the game, things you want us to see that are hopefully not spoilers. The moderators are on there, so they'll be removing anything that's potentially a yikes, if you will. But yeah, it's been a good day, and we got some Neo Tui side stuff happening. Another day, if you will, a little post-game content that should be a lot of fun. And we're gonna derp around there and check that stuff out. A yikes. But yeah. And if you haven't subscribed or sent notifications, you can. And if you don't believe in YouTube, you can always follow our Discord. We send notifications for streams if you like being here. And yeah, we will be checking out the second part of this game, and we'll figure out something to do in between, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But it'll be some good fun.
Another day.
Oh.
I should tell you.
Tell me what?
That we're going to be playing Tui at
Nice.
3:30.
But yeah, I hope to see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you. Bye. Bye.